What you in for, baby? What's your info? Walking around the city with my eyes closed. What you in for, baby? What's your info? Walking around the city with my eyes closed. What you in for, baby? What's your info? I got the mojo, I got the mojo. Hey, I got the mojo, I got the mojo, I got the mojo. Baby, don't hesitate. I will not hesitate. Baby, don't hesitate. Call me all the time. That's a perfect time. You got me shining like a perfect diamond. Call me all the time. That's a perfect time. You got me shining like a perfect diamond. You think you know me? You got me lonely. You think you know me? Let's take it easy, kick it like it's messy. Let's take it easy, kick it like it's messy. Let's take it easy.
Oh, guys, hello. What a jam. What a motherfucking jam. Raptor Nation, how we living? How we living in chat today? Right off the bat, I swear, it's like he was sitting and waiting and ready. DaoofZ, my guy, thank you so much for the sub. 3 months. 3 months of me. I don't know if you know what you're in for, my guy. Have you been having a chat to Mrs. Velociraptor? Has she warned you what it's like to spend more than 2 seconds with me? 3 months, DaoofZ. Holy shit. Wow. Well, you know what's about to happen, big fella. You can handle it. Like, I've seen you. You're the swollest dude I know, I feel like. But, Dao, all the same, just in case, make sure you strap yourself in. Dao, seriously, I'm not kidding, my guy, because you know what's about to happen. Again, You are a Raptor Nation sub, and to you, DaoofZ, I say, Fus Rota! Thank you so much, Dao, and hey, hope you're all good. Hope you're having a good afternoon, my friend. Care Best there, how you living, girl? Throwing all that hype up. All the hype. The Kylo emotes reminding me of a t-shirt design I'm working on at the moment, guys. Keep your eye out for that. I'll let you know when it's there. I'll let you guys know when it's there. But yeah, the creative juices are flowing. We've got some more designs coming through in the merch store, so yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Watch that space. K-Best there, thank you so much for the bits. Look at you, damn. You're on fire today. Look at you. All of you are. Holy shit. Baby Bear, thank you so much for the follow, girl. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Raptor Nation, Baby Bear. How you living? Damn. Seriously, I just jumped in and y'all throwing all this love at me? Like, what on earth? What did I deserve? I'm seriously just sitting here existing, guys. Is that all I need to do? Like, there we go. Like, no more, we don't even need to podcast. I'll just sit here. I'm just joking. We have a hell of a time ahead. Holy shit, Baby Bear Plays, what are you doing? Didn't you just see what happened to DaoofZ? Baby Bear. Holy shit, PogChamp Baby Bear. Wow. Well, girl. Again, I'm going to warn you, strap yourself in. Get some rope, I don't know, some duct tape. Maybe that'll withstand the power. Maybe the duct tape will withstand the power. I'm not even sure. But Baby Bear Plays, welcome to Raptor Nation. And congratulations, you are now a Raptor Nation sub. You get all of those sexy emotes. You don't have to put up with those fucked up ads that play at the start of the stream. And you just get to vibe out. Really appreciate you. And to you I say, Fus Rota! And hey, thanks for hanging out all the same, fam. Damn, look at you go. Look at you all go. Guys, we have ourselves a podcast today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't you worry about that. First, I just wanted to talk about something. It's been playing on my mind a little bit. With, a few things that have gone down in the past few months. I want to talk about an old song. Well, it's not like an old song, but, in terms of like today, it's an older song. So it's a song by Foster the People. It's called Pumped Up Kicks. Now, not too long ago, the band announced that they were retiring the song from live performances. Yeah, hey Pounce. Pounce is bothered by it too. The band announced that they were retiring the song from live performances, all due to, some controversy that got stirred up by the lyrics. Now, you guys, I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't know this, but the song was actually written with an intended meaning, and it was not the meaning that everyone took away from the lyrics. It meant, it was written meaning one thing, everybody interpreted it another way. And interestingly, when the band came out to announce that they were retiring this song, Floofy down, get out of the way, Pounce. What they did actually announce was they actually understood. They understood the uproar. They understood what people interpreted from the lyrics. Even though they knew that their intention was completely different, their actual meaning in the writing of the song was completely different. They knew and understood that everybody else had, taken it a different way. Now, why are we talking about this? This, it really translates into a lot of things that have happened recently around cancel culture, right? Don't get me wrong, there are some people out there who have been cancelled that definitely deserve to be cancelled. I'm not here to defend those people, but there are some, I think, who have, created content, they've done things, they've said things maybe, and when they've done and said and created that content, whatever it might have been, given out those takes, whatever those takes might have been, they've meant one thing, they've intended one thing. And in a lot of ways, they've meant to entertain, or they've intended to support or entertain something, and instead, we all take away from it that we take a different meaning from it. We see it as something distasteful sometimes. Sometimes we see it as something that can be misconstrued. We see it and look, I'm not going to go into any specific examples. I think I've used one right there with the song. But my point is this: before we go jumping on everybody else, maybe it's important to actually understand someone's intention when they've done something or they've said something before we go, sticking to how we've interpreted it. Because I think you'll find with most people, most reasonable people at least, when you do explain your concerns with something, you explain how you've interpreted it and, why that's wrong, what, the things that are wrong with it. They can tell you what they meant and they can understand why you have a problem with it, and perhaps they can redact or retract what they've said. I think that's a more constructive way of going about things, like what has happened with Foster the People with their song Pumped Up Kicks, right? Rather than just cancelling everybody. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on nothing you guys asked me about. I don't know why you stick around, but hey, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Let's jump in. I'm sure DaoofZ has gone to sleep already. But yeah, no, he's still there. He's still there. Okay, let's bring him in. Let's unmute you. Now, I gotta admit, I am pretty damn excited today. I'm joined by not only a new guest, but a fucking epic, legendary guest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen this man before, first I need to tell you to get good. Secondly, I need to tell you to go check him out. DaoofZ, how you doing, my guy?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Point of clarification, just so we know, I'm not a legend. I'm merely just like a folktale. I'm small. I haven't gone to legend status yet.
You haven't reached legend status yet?
No, I'm not there. People
are talking about you, but you don't feel as though it's like to the point where people might query it as a myth?
Right. It's one of those things where, if you know, but most people don't know, so...
Yes. Yes, Baby Bear. I agree. I agree completely. That is exactly what a legend would say. Like, I don't know about all that. A legend, really? Really? He's...
Well, look, don't get me wrong. I am famous. Absolutely famous. For a small group of people.
Well, I don't think it's fair to call your fan base small. There's some truly, big people in amongst them. So, some very legendary folks. But oh boy. Dao, I really want to just swoon about you. I feel like I'm going to embarrass myself if I do that. Can you save me that and tell everybody about yourself? Don't be too humble though, or I might jump in.
Get ready to jump in. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just a guy. I paint minis. I play video games. I talk to people. That's what I do. That's pretty much all there is to it. I honestly don't do anything special or unique that's beyond anybody else. I just do me, I guess.
He does nothing unique. Look at that setup behind you. Did you have a birthday?
I did, yesterday.
Happy birthday for yesterday.
I had a whole stream, and I just now realized that my camera is mirrored. So happy birthday is backwards. Just now realized that. Yep. See, this is why I'm like, no, really, I'm nothing special.
It's showing up normally for me and for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because for me, it is mirrored.
I've got ways and means wherever others have hopes and dreams, you see. So, I've got us sorted. The problem is, for you it's mirrored, but for me it's not. Oh, yikes. But yeah, look, okay, I have to jump in because there's a few things that he has shared with me that I can't have you folks not knowing. All right. So there was this bachelor party. No, I'm joking. He didn't share that with me at all. No.
Only a small one.
No, we have amongst us a veteran of esports, guys. We have a former pro first person shooter athlete from what I understand. Now, what did you used to play, Dao? You used to play Soldier of Fortune?
I played Soldier of Fortune 2, Call of Duty, like the original Call of Duty and Call of Duty 2, and Battlefield 1942 when it originally released. Is back when I played for a pro esports team. I played for Ravensoft's pro team. Unfortunately, the company's gone under now, but
Like
back when they were still producing games, that kind of thing. I played on their professional team.
That's amazing.
Sponsored by them to shoot people. Yeah, I was sponsored by them to shoot people on a video game, and I was quite good at it.
Well, obviously, you can't just be like your average, kid that sits there cussing on everyone's mum. If you're going to play on a pro team, right?
Right. No, like it. So I played during high school and college. I ended up stopped playing because I wanted to pursue my dream job, which was being a chef. So I kind of stepped away from it, and a lot of people don't realize how much work and dedication goes into being a pro player, right?
Oh, we did too. Dow, just quickly, I want to acknowledge, it didn't come through, Streamlabs didn't acknowledge the raid. Doyles, don't think I'm snobbing you, my guy. Thank you so much for the raid. And hey, raiders, welcome. Yeah, I noticed like all the love in chat, and I was like, what are they so excited about? And then, yeah, okay. Come on, Streamlabs, get good. But, oh, man. Yeah, Doyles, thank you so much, you legend. And Raiders, hope you're all having a great afternoon. But hey, that's actually an amazing little platform that you bring with you, DaoofZ, because today I had some things I want to talk about. And look, really a lot has happened this week with this game.
Right.
Where do I start? I was going to start with the other thing, but I think since we're talking about, pro esports and everything like that, I will start with the Call of Duty League.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was pretty entertained. Entertained's not the right. Intrigued that they made that shift. Tactically speaking, there's a very large difference between 4 and 5 players, right? There are things that you can do with 5 people that you just simply can't with 4. Right now, looking at the various news articles and what people are saying about it, most people are just concerned, well, what is the extra person going to do? Like, it's a team of 4 now, so they've got to cut one person. Like, well, honestly, most pro teams have 2 or 3 backups for just in case. They're probably not going to lose their slots. Even if they do lose their slots, these are professional players. These guys are good. They're not going to stay uncontracted for very long. Like, that's not the big worry there. The big worry is going to be the mindset and tactical change about how you approach the game itself. With 5 people, you can do an effective sweep and clear with a set. And what that means is you can take, say, a 3D environment. You've got a top level building, bottom level building. There's a team in the middle, on a 3-level building. So you can have a group of 2 on the bottom, a group of 2 on the top, push both sides, and then one person waiting at windows for someone to make a mistake and poke their head out. You can do that with 5 people. You can't do that with 4. You have to change your tactics now. You have to adapt the way you play the game, and you have to practice differently. And these are people who have practiced strictly doing 5-people mechanics that they now have to redesign their entire dynamics of how to play. And that's where the concern is going to be for the pro players. Can they adapt to a 4-person squad and change their mindset? Or are they going to fall behind and be replaced by somebody else? It's not going to be a matter of whether or not they're going to find a team. It's whether or not they can adapt their mindset.
Well, I agree with you. I'm not sure I completely agree with you over whether or not they need to be worried about finding a team. Because another thing that we know about the Call of Duty League is this. If you want to have a franchise in the league at the moment, you've got to front up $25 million. And of course, we remember that there was a huge controversy over 100 Thieves and Nade Shot opting not to buy in. Into the franchise that way. So there are only a certain number of teams in the Call of Duty League, and now with the format changing, all of those teams, they have to drop a player from their roster. You're gonna end up with guys like there's gonna be guys who are found caught out. Like I think the big talk through the week now was Clayster. So guys, those not familiar with the esports scene. The Dallas Empire just won the Call of Duty League this week. And the crazy thing about this is Clayster, probably the second best player on their team, as soon as the shift from 5 players to 4 players was announced, he got dropped. Well, he got told he would be dropped from the squad. And look, when I say drop, they're looking for another team to send him to and everything like that. It's not as savage as it all sounds. But yeah, that's the impact that it has. A 3-time MVP player gets dropped from the best team in the game like that as soon as this thing's announced.
Right, but on the same token, like I said, he's gonna find a different.
He will. Yeah, he will.
He absolutely will.
Yeah.
Now, for those that do end up being removed from the team slot, like I said, a lot of the professional teams do keep 1 to 2 on bench. Like, it's pretty standard practice to keep half a team on bench just in case. Overwatch does it. I don't know about Call of Duty specifically. I haven't played Call of Duty in a number of years, so I don't follow the scene as much as I could. But most esports games do keep half the team on bench, and just meaning that they're in reserve, just in case someone gets sick or they injure themselves or for whatever reason can't make it. Like I believe it was last year at the World Championship for Overwatch, there was an entire team that couldn't make it because they didn't have their passports up to date, but their entire bench roster could, so they just put in their bench roster versus their pro team, because stuff like that happens, right?
Oh, for sure. The problem is Overwatch is a little bit different, right? Because as I just mentioned, the teams that are in this Call of Duty League, they've just ponied up $25 million, right? So they don't necessarily have the cash around to pay free free spots on their roster.
Right, and that is
because I agree with
the
that
difference
approach.
of the dynamic there. It's a great approach, and it's a smart move to do that.
Absolutely.
The buy-in for it, though, I feel like that's where Call of Duty is really going to struggle. Yes, it's popular. Yes, people are going to want to watch the pro level tournaments, but the amount of people that have that kind of cash just lying around to pony up and say, well, I'll risk it on a team, because you have to risk it to see if that team makes you a profit. And even if they do play, you're not going to see a large return on that profit for several years.
Oh, for sure. And
after you've paid all the coaches, after you've, paid for team practice housing, after you've paid for, new computers for everybody and all updated gear, and once everything goes into that, I mean, you're out the $25 million plus all that extra. It's gonna be a good 5 to 10 years, because those prize pots at the most are what, maybe $10 million split across for everybody, right? So you're not going to see a return on that for 5 years if you win every tournament.
Well, that's the thing. And, interestingly, when you put it that way, it's not at all surprising to see 100 Thieves not buy in, right? In spite of all the flack that they copped. Because obviously, performance-wise, across other games, they don't actually go all that well. And actually, a lot of people thought that they would be a sure thing to actually buy into the Call of Duty League, because actually, if you look at their rosters and the guys that they've got signed up, they are definitely a stronger Call of Duty org. That would be their best game. So, yeah, yikes. As you say though, from a business perspective, if you are thinking about a profit, you're not going to see a return on that.
Right.
For the foreseeable future.
For to get sponsored by any sort of org or esports team to play at the pro level, those are things that you need. You need a dedicated practice house. You need a psychologist on staff. You need coaches. You need all this extra stuff. And it becomes a business venture, right? You need to approach it as a business venture.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're sinking money into this and you need to recover that. People don't have the money to pay for this. I mean, unless you're Jeff Bezos. I mean, he does. But, the rest of us, even organizations or large companies, like even for like Blizzard Activision to put their own team together and support it, even if they were bypassing the entry fee that way, it's still a pretty big money sink to do that kind of stuff. You need that team to win in order to counterbalance it, because you're paying wages for these people. You're paying food, housing, living conditions, travel. You're paying doctors. You're paying equipment. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. So it actually is kind of interesting. I didn't know that there was a buy-in for the Call of Duty Professional League. Like that's an interesting business model, I guess, is the best way for me to say that. Yeah. I don't know how successful it's going to continue to be, though.
I understand the mentality of it. If you think about like football, right? Think about the NFL. Right. You literally buy into the NFL, and what you do is you buy a franchise and you pay all the upfront costs and everything like that to have a team, in your city of choice or whatever. And yeah, usually you get, the local council or whoever to sort of pony up and help you with that, because obviously you're bringing things in for them. But yeah, that's the idea, is the league sells franchises off. And yeah, like you have that also in the NHL, right? They recently expanded the NHL to include a Vegas franchise. What happened there was somebody bought a franchise in, and they spent whatever they spent. So I get the mentality. They want Call of Duty League to be, I suppose, a legitimate league, like seen as a sport, and that's what we should all be considering esports to be. The problem is,
very much so.
Orgs in esports aren't really there yet, so to speak, financially. Yeah, like there's probably only. I'm not saying that there is only one org. There are definitely others, but the one that comes to mind as an org that really does this well in terms of just running themselves as an esports org is actually FaZe. So FaZe, they work heavily on merchandising and content creation. Those are things that they do probably better than anybody else, and they make a shit ton of money that way. Like you see so much FaZe gear getting around. It's literally like a recognizable symbol. It's trendy. I don't know. It might even be the gaming equivalent to the Nike tick at this stage, is that FaZe emblem, right? And what they're then able to do off the back of that is pay top dollar for these, esports rosters. You look at their CSGO roster, like year in, year out, their Fortnite rosters, even their Call of Duty roster is pretty solid as well. Like, and they're able to pony up and pay these players. FaZe did buy into the Call of Duty League, unsurprisingly, because that's their business model. They don't just have their athletes. They do actually sign up athletes who can also do content creation. Think about Tfue before everything went south.
Right. And that's... Esports is a very different model than sports overall, which is why I say, like, I don't think the Call of Duty business model will be extremely successful over a long period of time, at least not at this point. Until such time as the general populace of the world starts recognizing esports as a sport. And make no mistake, it is absolutely, in every way that we measure a sport, right? It is absolutely mentally challenging. It is physically challenging. It is, it takes a high level of skill. It takes a level of education. It takes the ability or it takes intelligent players to be able to play at a professional level. Like, make no mistake, it hits every mark that you look for in a professional sports team. But until the world starts recognizing esports as a legitimate, or as a legitimate sporting venue, we're not going to be able to see that same kind of business model follow through large scale or over long periods of time.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you think about how it exists now. Esports exists on a international level. There's not really, like outside of Korea and whatnot. There's not really strong domestic leagues in place.
Right.
So there's not that incentive.
There's been a couple of game devs, or a couple of companies that have tried to do that sort of thing. Like Call of Duty is working on it.
Sure.
Overwatch is another one that is working on trying to get dedicated local leagues put together, like you would see in any other sporting event.
Well, that's what creates the economy, isn't it? Like, you think about like football. Right. Again, I use football as an example, but it's a great one.
Well, it's a great example, though.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have home games, you have merchandising and everything like that,
right.
And because of the financial benefit of a home game, you have more people come into a city at any time. And what that does is it incentivizes engagement from the city. More money comes into the franchise that way.
Absolutely. Like, as an American, I can 100% say that, like, when we're talking about NFL or AFL, like, for sure, we get absolutely fanatical about football. Like, the amount of money that an individual will dump into a local team is absolutely insane. Even if it's not a professional league. Like, I live in a college football town, which, oddly enough, due to the Nike tick that you mentioned earlier, I live in the town that Nike was founded in.
Wow.
So, like, we have a local college team here, right? And literally, when football season is on, or there's a small break between football and basketball season, but during those seasons, the entire town basically ends up repainting itself and redecorating itself to be the local colors. The businesses spend a lot of money on it. The city spends a lot of money on it. The advertising for it is absolutely insane. All of the merch that we go through, even like a mom and pop shop, if they have any sort of college team merch, they are going to clear, more than $100,000 during the first month of football season.
Easily.
Just off the merch, and that's full profit. That's not including, expenses.
Well,
right?
They don't need to worry about expenses too much. They don't even pay their players. Right. I have my own reasons for being filthy about that, but yeah. Oh, yikes.
Yeah. Look, that's a topic for another podcast.
Oh, 100%. I don't think we should put that on a podcast. I think I'd just shout the whole time.
Probably not. But yeah, like, esports is trying to get to that point, where you get that level of fanaticism over things. Which, I mean, there's some good things about it, there's some bad things about it. The good thing is, because it happens, it's going to open up a lot more relevant job opportunities for younger folks and people who are dedicated to these games, not just on a professional scale, but on an amateur scale as well. The downsides are, I mean, if one guy goes walking through an airport wearing one team's colors and another guy, like, fistfights can break out. We've seen it before. We've seen it before. So, it's a little catch-22, but I mean, when it comes down to it, that kind of thing, businesses see as free advertising, which is a horrible thing, but it is. It ends up being advertising. Because then you get it in news, then you get it in, all over the internet, that kind of thing. And
Well,
It just drives the market further.
What really brings I think any sport to life is the culture around a team. If you can, in Australia we see it in a team in Brisbane here. They're called the Brisbane Broncos, having a terrible season, and because of that, they get covered even more so than any other terrible team. But here's the thing: if you're in the city of Brisbane, and there is a Broncos game on at the local stadium or whatever, it is fanfare. Like it's an event. Another example would be if you were in the city of Vancouver when there's a Canucks game on. Now the Canucks have never won a Stanley Cup, but they are an institution in the city of Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
If you walk down Robson Street with a Canucks jersey on, everybody is your friend. Everybody will talk to you about the latest game, be it a win or a loss. This I know. And yeah, that's you see that amongst franchises, some more than others. New England Patriots fans are insufferable. Give a team 6 championships and that'll happen. But yeah, that's something that is lacking in esports. If there's something that I want to see happen, I want to see orgs develop that culture, develop that status where they do become an institution more so.
There is a unique aspect to sports culture that we see all over the place in sports culture, but we don't see so much in esports. I know I keep mentioning Overwatch, but that's my game right there.
That's cool.
Call of Duty a little bit, Overwatch my game. So there was a coach that did it, and you and I were talking about the coach before we started the podcast. Jane introduced this to the Overwatch scene, right? And when he did it, esports coverage went absolutely nuts over it. He talked trash about the other team and the other coaches. Oh. That was it. Like, he just did like a little bit of light trash talking, just a little bit. And it lit a fire under everything, and both the organizations got so much support off of it. They made so much money because jersey sales went up, merch sales went up, everything, just from a little bit of trash talking. And as much as I hate to be that guy that's like, yeah, you should definitely say negative things about others. We as players should not be trash talking each other, but one of the things we could do for esports to help further that, oddly enough, is trash talk other teams.
Well, it builds rivalry.
Politely.
Yeah, like you don't need to be toxic. But yeah, absolutely. That's what makes sports fun. You don't give a shit about your team. If you're a sports fan, you don't give a shit about your team just playing any other team, right? What you do care about is when your team is playing their rival. It might be...
I want my team to be your team because then I'm better than you because my team... Right, it's that whole mentality of... it's the whole mentality of we're better than you.
Exactly.
And we can prove it. Like,
prime example.
We've done it for years.
Yeah. Like, prime example, the Patriots and the Jets, Boston, New York, it's crazy. The Jets will be, they won't have a win so far in the season. When the Patriots are playing them, everyone's tuning in. It doesn't matter because they're rivals. They're rival teams, they're rival cities. And that's how that all goes. It's interesting that you bring that up in the Overwatch scene. What was given what you've just said there, what was your take on XQC's banning? Well, he wasn't banned from the league, so to speak, but he was dropped by the Dallas Fuel and then
he wasn't
cancelled.
Not banned by the league.
He got cancelled.
He wasn't banned by the league, but he wasn't not banned by the league either. Nobody will pick him up.
No.
And it's because of it truly 100% is because of his toxic mentality, right? His toxic attitude towards everything. The same thing that also has made him famous has really shot him in the foot, so to speak, as far as being able to keep playing the games that keep him relevant.
Yeah.
that keep him relevant. Like, it's I respect XQC as a player. He's a very talented individual. He's very smart, and he is absolutely gifted. However, I have a hard time backing anyone who takes pride in being toxic to someone else because of their background, their upbringing, their race, their gender, their, I think it was a smart move for Dallas Fuel to drop in. I think it was a brilliant move. It would have done nothing but made their lives difficult. It would have done nothing but.
Well, by that stage, they had to do it, really.
Well, right. I mean, he has already been fined by not only the Overwatch League, but by the organization 10 or 12 times. He has been banned from Overwatch on various accounts. I mean, countless times. He's been fined by Twitch. He's been fined by YouTube. I mean, by this point, like, the attitude, it isn't like he made a mistake and he's going back and saying, sorry, I didn't know that, like, that was something that I shouldn't say.
Well, he tried to.
I've educated myself. He's tried, but like,
tried to.
But
yeah, nobody was swallowing that.
And expecting different results, and it's not happening. Literally, it's just the guy doesn't care about anything other than making money, and it shows in his attitude and his approach to his gameplay and how he treats people. So, great, phenomenal player. I mean, he's intelligent, but he got what he deserved, and it should have happened sooner.
Yeah.
It should have happened a lot sooner.
Oh, that's a crazy thing. Like, you get, because he is absolutely, like, dare I say, he's actually a very good content creator. He has his followers for a reason.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I say that and I cringe as I say it. Because,
a little bit of your soul dies when you say
exactly.
that.
Like, I think,
clearly he's got the following that says he is a good content creator.
Yeah. But
and
at
then
the
you
same
look
token,
at his content and you look at the people who watch his content and you go, why?
Well, it gets to a point. I think Twitch have definitely showed recently that it doesn't matter how big you are. If you do the wrong thing, or sometimes if you do, question mark, they're not afraid to drop you from the platform. Question mark is obviously a nod at Doc, because we don't know what he's done yet. But and that's kind of my point. Big guys have got dropped for toxicity before. Ice Poseidon comes to mind, right? XQC, I don't know. At the moment, up until Shroud came back, he was probably the biggest guy on the platform after Doc left. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't last long if he doesn't check himself, that is, of course. But as a player, talking purely about esports here and talking about the Overwatch scene, absolute shame. If you ever get a chance, you can go back and watch some of his highlights and things playing Overwatch. It was very good. Unfortunately, and it's
he's
the same
a phenomenal player.
Yeah, it's the same in any sport, right? If you're too much of a circus, teams will lose patience with you, it's very much the same in esports. I was just curious. Since we were talking about it, I was like, I got to get your take.
It's relevant. Let's.
Yeah. Oh, we go on these tangents all the time. It's great. Sometimes the better discussions come off the agenda. But coming back to Call of Duty. What you said about Clayster, you're 110% right. That dude, he'll get picked up. Hopefully, he gets put on another squad that is good, a great roster around him. The situation at the Empire, you do understand. You've already got Crim 6, and then you've got these younger guys around him. You only really, especially in a 4v4 situation, you only really need one alpha, so to speak. So, you understand the organization's move there. Clayster will end up on another roster. Hope he gets a good group of players around him. I see a trickle effect coming into play, though, where Clayster ends up, someone else is out, and so on and so forth. There's going to be some guys who are caught odd, and unfortunately, that's no good for any sport or any sort of league. What comes to mind is a
Right.
format like F1, right? In the Formula One Grand Prix circuit,
Yeah.
you have a limited number of seats. And
Right.
there are so many great drivers out there that don't end up driving because that's just how it is. I see at the moment anyway, in the current format, with it being so difficult to get new franchises in, and with the rosters having been shrunk from 5 to 4 players, I see that bottleneck happening in Call of Duty League. So, Rick?
There are going to be a few people that are going to be left out to dry, and that, like, it is very unfortunate that happens. But I also see them bringing in, like I said, a couple of bench seats, because as far as I know, the Call of Duty teams don't keep bench players.
No, they don't.
They keep
It's actually really rare.
Their actual roster, and that's it. They don't have a backup or a rotate or a pinch player. It's just that. So, I mean, it may also bring in the opportunity or the mindset that maybe we should keep a bench player just in case someone gets sick and can't perform or can't make a tournament, or it was very weird for me to find out that Call of Duty teams don't have a bench player.
Well,
because pretty much every other esports organization and team has bench players.
Well, not every. I was just about to say it's not fair to call out Call of Duty, because in CS:GO, there's only like 1 or 2 orgs that do actually have bench players.
Right.
Yeah, and probably the best at it has about 2 bench spots, and they actually keep a solid rotation on. But yeah, otherwise CS:GO, they have no bench players, and they just grind.
Yeah, but even Fortnite has, they keep a bench player.
Sure, yeah, they do. There's a lot of guys that went pro in Fortnite, though.
PUBG keeps bench players. Fortnite keeps bench players. Overwatch obviously keeps bench players. Rocket League, the pro leagues for Rocket League, they keep bench players.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm just saying it's not just Call of Duty.
Bench players. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it happens, but it's always been weird to me that you wouldn't do that. Like, why would you not do that when you're going to a tournament when there's, like I said, potentially, $10 million on the line for that tournament?
Oh, yeah. Well,
to risk someone getting a flu.
Yeah. Well, from an organizational standpoint, I guess a lot of it too, you think about it, a lot of these orgs, they do have some very big personalities on their roster. Mm-hmm. Like, especially if you use the example of FaZe, right? Like, they do sign the big names. They do sign people who aren't just big players, they are big personalities. So I guess for them, if you think about the mentality of athletes, sometimes they don't necessarily themselves want to share their time playing with others. Mm-hmm. And that's what having a substitute or a bench player does. Because if you are running any sports roster, right, what you are doing is actually you're rotating your players out, which means
you're rotating your bench in so that you never end up in a situation like for anyone who's ever played sports or done any sort of performance at all, right? Whether it be maybe you sing or you dance or you play in a band or whatever, like your practice is one thing. It is a whole different experience when you are doing it in front of a large group of people.
Oh, 100%.
Or when you're in a tournament or something like that, and there's something additional on the line there. You need to rotate your bench players in, and you need to rotate your extras in so that they have that experience. If you don't, and you get there, and all of a sudden, here you are playing in a tournament worth $10 million that also has 1,000 people watching you.
Oh yeah.
You need to get acclimatized to that. You can't just go in and do that.
You don't get that.
It's a whole different experience.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're so right. It hurts, and you can't just rely.
Yeah, it does.
You can't rely on a situation where you're up something stupid to put your extras in. Right, you do actually need to rotate and give them that experience, which is a trick in of itself. And what that means is someone's got to sub out. And so when you've got like a squad of superstars, Yeah, look, everyone's got an ego,
Right.
right? I've got an ego. I
Well,
get
I
it.
mean,
Trust
like,
me. Um,
when you're playing pro, even when you're not playing pro, when you're in any kind of competitive or perfectionist environment, like I said, I stopped playing pro to become a chef, um, and there are egos in a kitchen, like huge
oh,
ones.
yeah.
It's bad. Um, you're gonna get a clash of personality. You're gonna get that that this is my domain, this is my house, you do it my way, and in something like Call of Duty where you have that smaller team rosters. Um, and it's not like two guys working as a team that work as a team all the time. It's a group of four that need to coordinate now. Once you bring that team coordination in beyond two players, if you have large personalities clashing, it is just as important that you coach that aspect of the team. Like I said, having psychologists on your team roster for those coaching, like being able to work with that is every bit as important as how good you are at the game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
You know,
it's one thing to have.
it's
Well, it's an old proverb, right? You can have a team of superstars, or you can have a superstar team. And
right.
sports has showed us the superstar team wins every single time.
Right.
Yeah, so you take that mentality, you're going to get you a hell of a superstar team. You do things the way that COD is currently being run. You'll probably have a team of superstars, and they'll take you as far as they can. Care Bear Stare, that's really sweet. And hey, thank you so much for the bitty bits. He is absolutely. I'm just. You guys have no idea how much fun I'm having right now. I don't know if you can tell, but this is amazing. Also, I saw Little Miss Rue gave us a follow. That was like 28 minutes ago. I'm really sorry. Thank you so much for the follow. If you're still here, welcome
I'm
to
sorry,
Activision.
Chad. I've been keeping him distracted.
Yeah, we're having like this crazy discussion. Well, Dao, while we're still talking about the organizational side of things, I 100% agree with you. If we were running Activision Blizzard right now, this is what would happen, right? These things would go down. Unfortunately, we're not, so it isn't. At the moment, they're sticking to their business model with the $25 million buy-in on franchises.
Right.
And they seem to very much be shunning anybody that doesn't buy in. Case in point, Nadeshot with 100 Thieves. Now, Nadeshot, he is obviously the CEO of 100 Thieves, but still, he is actually a Call of Duty player and content creator. Recently, he missed out on being given a creator key for Call of Duty Warzone, which doesn't sound like that big of a deal. A lot of people didn't. I didn't get one. You didn't get one, I'm assuming.
I didn't.
Yeah. But if you think about if anybody actually knows who Nadeshot is, right? Nadeshot is a big name in Call of Duty and pro Call of Duty, esports and everything like that. And that's why it was a bit of a whoa when 100 Thieves didn't buy into the league. But since that happened, there have been a few like yikes moments where seemingly Call of Duty has sort of left Nadeshot out to dry. That was an example. There have been a couple of tournaments that he's been not invited to. So the approach that Activision seemed to take, if you don't buy into the league, this is how they're treating Nadeshot, right? How they're going to treat everybody else is that they're only going to really, or for the most part, they're going to support the teams and the orgs that are in the league that do buy in and pony up, and everybody else can kind of, just go find somewhere else to be, I guess.
And then, like I said, I don't think the model they're running is going to work long term for them without major changes in the mindset of the global populace as a whole. When you get situations like that where, you have to buy in. Well, what are you going to do to me if I don't? Well, we'll end your career and everything about you. Yeah. Just inadvertently. And that's what they're doing. Like, they're not intentionally doing it, but they're inadvertently doing it. That extra added pressure, it's one of those things that it leaves a bad taste in not just the players' mouths, but everybody who supports that player, and they're going to lose large groups of viewership because of it, which then hurts the organization. When you shun someone for not being able to have, $25 million, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have $25 million. Do you have $25 million, Coop?
No, let me check.
Give me a loan and I'll play.
No, I'm just short.
You're just short?
No,
Anybody in
yeah.
chat? Anybody in chat have 25 million? Anybody? Like, I will get back into the pro esports scene. Scene. I will do it. I don't. You can't shun people like that. You're basically saying we're only going to cater to the upper crust or to those who are going to sell themselves to corporate entities to be able to play.
Yeah, it's not a good attitude to have when you consider who the main the main player base is in Call of Duty, right?
Right, and
it's not really an elitist game.
Right. Well, when you think about it, the reason that these organizations exist and are able to continue to play, right, is not just that it's a big name game. It's that people dream about doing those things, right? People dream about being a pro player. I want to be a pro player. I want to play on X team. I want to do this and push myself and don't even have 250. Yeah. I want to, I want to be part of that team or organization. I want to do this thing. Even when we're talking like larger things like the NFL or the AFL or, any sports organization out there, the reason that these things are still successful is because people have lifelong dreams of doing it and work towards that goal. And when you say, as a player, you have to have $25 million to pony up to be able to play?
Oh, no, it's just for franchises.
Even just to have the franchise, just to be able to do that and limit the rosters the way that they're doing it, and
exactly. Well, it impacts the players, right? Yeah.
Right. It kills that dream, and so you're literally killing your future advertising by having this model.
And then
it's
off the back
terrible
of that,
business move.
Yeah.
And then when someone says, we're not going to do that this round, if you turn around and you shun them and say, well, then don't come back.
Yeah. And it piles on then when they implement this move, right? Yeah. See, they've already limited their league as it is to, say, okay, only people that buy in are going to be competing. Then you say, okay, everyone that's bought in, now you can only have 4 players.
Right.
Yeah. Who does that impact? It really, it impacts everybody.
It impacts the players. It impacts the organizations. It impacts the game. It impacts the fans. Like I said, I don't mind the shift from 5 to 4. It makes things a little bit more dynamic. You have to take bigger risks. Tactically speaking, gameplay speaking, you have to take bigger risks. It means that you aren't going to have those same kind of cookie cutter models from every team. People are going to bring different tactics, different strategies to each kind of to each playthrough, right?
Easily. It's going to make it more interesting.
Right. It's going to make it a lot more dynamic and a lot more interesting, as well as a little bit easier to follow because you've got one less player to track. But on the other side of it, when you're talking about the organization and the players themselves, it makes things way more difficult. Especially if you're also going to turn around and shun people for going, well, we're not going to pay $25 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let's talk more about the gameplay side of things with Call of Duty, because there, of course, as I said, there's been a lot that's gone on with this game this week. So outside of the esports scene, Dao, Activision have moved in on the cheaters.
Yes.
Finally.
Well, this isn't the first time that Activision has done it. It is, however, the first time that Activision has gone after a large name cheat developer company and won. This by far isn't the first time that they've attempted. nor the first time they've gone after a big cheat development company, but it's the first time that they have won the lawsuit.
Well, I don't know. There wasn't really much of a fight. They filed the suit, and then there was a white flag immediately.
Well, to be fair, like Activision has come after like cheat companies before and that kind of thing, but there have been some recent legal changes in the U.S. as well as some other countries. The reason that they keep losing is because, I mean, our legal precedents for terms and services don't necessarily extend to outside of the U.S. We don't have other countries backing us up on that, and most game devs are U.S.-based companies. Most of them. There's a couple in Germany. There's a couple in Korea, that are larger names, and I think we've even got one that's on the list of things to talk about a little bit later.
Oh yeah.
But most of them are all based out of the U.S. So, and most cheat devs aren't.
Yeah.
The last one that Activision really went after, I think, was based out of I think it was based out of Russia, specifically like near Crimea. I think it was.
Yeah, they're usually in a really shady place. Yeah.
Right. They went after them, and they're like, "You can't do this. We're going to sue you." And Russia went, "How?
Yeah,
it's
how
not
are you
illegal.
Gonna do that? Yeah.
What are you going to do?" And so the cheat companies were just like, "Ha. This is the first time they've gone after a larger cheat dev company that did have local supporting laws to back them up." So, I mean, their options were deal with the full weight of the Blizzard Activision legal team, and a cheat dev company that's like 10 people, maybe?
Sure. Well,
maybe you've got that many people. If you're lucky, you've got 25, right? And here's this almost like bordering mega corporation that's backed by not only Activision Blizzard, but like Microsoft is behind them, and Apple's going to throw things at them, and
they're a multinational.
Right, it's a multinational company.
Big
You're going to
company.
be like, we give up. Hi, call us France now.
Yeah,
that's your option. So yeah, they rolled over, but this is the first time that any U.S. based company has had legal precedents to back them up and support them from this kind of standpoint.
Yeah, and this was a huge cheat developer. I would say probably the main cheat developer. My personal opinion is, based on the number of cheating players that there were in Call of Duty, or still are, I guess, I'd say that they've made their money. I'm sure that they had no issues being like, you know what, we've emptied that honeypot. Let's move on to other things. So yeah, I was somewhat surprised, but at the same token, it made sense to me that they were like, yeah, like they're still developing cheat software, just not for that game. That's what their statement
for sure
told us.
There it is. That's right.
So yeah.
Oh, for sure. And it's not even like, the worst thing is, it's not even like they're not developing cheat software for Blizzard Activision games. They're just not doing it for, Call of Duty. Because they're still doing it for Overwatch.
Yep.
They're still doing it for, they're still developing cheat software for Blizzard Activision games. They're
there's cheating in CSGO.
Now.
I've got no doubt that they've got a hand in the wall hacks and everything in CSGO and Valorant and everything like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But oh yikes! Now while we're talking about cheaters and cheating, there was another streamer through the week who Well, I don't think it's even fair to say he got caught, because he really fucked up. Well, look, he fucked up as soon as he started cheating, to be fair. But okay, so
right. I mean, look, I'm never going to say that I haven't cheated in a game, because back in the day, like the Game Shark cartridges that you get for like your Sony or your PlayStation, like the original, like I've done that kind of stuff for single player games, because there were things that you could do in the game but you couldn't do it unless you did it because it was product sales, right? So I'm not even gonna say like I haven't done that before, and it's not like I ever like haven't ever like logged into Minecraft and like turned on shell commands and been like, yeah, I'm just gonna fly around for a little bit and like find my location, where I want to start. But like when you're talking about like multiplayer cheating, especially in an environment where you can play to win money.
Oh yeah, and that's where this
you
stuff
can
shows
make
up.
a career off of this kind of stuff. Yeah, like don't cheat. Just don't do it.
So
it's dumb because you will lose more money than you make.
So guys, it's not hard to find a clip. If I know most people have seen it this week, but God, it's hilarious. Those that missed it, let me describe it for you. So you've
open up your Google News platform. It's like the third story.
I swear, it's so funny. So yeah, he's playing away and he's making some obvious hacker plays. Like you can tell when you've been killed by a hacker. I know if you know what you're doing when you're playing an FPS. You know when someone gets you fairly, and you know when someone's wall hacking, right? And aimbotting. So he was clearly aimbotting. You just watch the gameplay and everything. And yeah, he's clearly aimbotting. He's clearly wall hacking and everything like that. And anyway, there was a particular kill he got, and I think his chat were calling him out. He timed people out in chat calling him out. And then, I don't know, for some reason he had his display capture on. And yeah, on his display, his cheats are there, up in the middle of the fucking screen. And he's there defending himself on stream. He's like, what? I've got great recoil.
I don't cheat. I'm going to time you out.
Yeah,
guys, I don't cheat. It's a different application. Yeah,
no. He didn't even like respond to the fact that his cheats were on the screen. He's there talking about how he's got great recoil, which oh boy. And anyway, so I find it funny because I obviously know that that's fucking bullshit anyway. But yeah, so his cheats are on the screen. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just amazing. Like you're watching a player who's amazing, guys. Like yeah, don't even sweat it. Cheats on the screen. Boy. So Dao, before I move on to the next thing, maybe I've got to ask. So, have you had a particularly infuriating moment where you've been killed by a hacker in game?
Yes. So I mentioned this to you earlier, Coop. I played a very high Masters level play for Overwatch. I have been in games with people like XQC and Jane and Ninja and Shroud, and like I have played with those guys, right? I had just finished playing up against a bunch of the Dallas Fuel players, which was. Can we curse here? Like, is that?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, good. Which was fucking bullshit, because I went up against a 6-stack of Dallas Fuel.
Oh yeah.
It was unfair, okay? It was unfair. So I was a little bit tilted anyways that we got that matchmaking. But I got out of that, and I ended up losing like 150 SR from it and being pushed out of the 4K bracket because of it. And then the very next game that I got had this guy playing a Hanzo that was literally headshotting people from the other side of the map. Just like spinning around, and he would click. You could watch in the kill cam. He was just spinning his mouse, and then it would just lock on, and he'd fire, and you were dead. That was it.
Yeah, it's some
Was
bullshit.
like at that high level of play, that is one of the most tilting experiences. Like clearly the guy got reported by pretty much everybody in that game.
Easily.
But when you come into stuff like that, especially when you're at that high level of gameplay and you do play against people like that and you're trying to push for literally top 500, and you run into that, and that person not only costs you the game, but it costs you ranking standard. I lost almost 500 SR in less than 45 minutes.
Oof.
Yeah, and that's like when you're climbing, you can only gain at that level. You can only gain like 15 SR every 20 minutes, but you can lose way bigger than that if you lose.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
no, that's
that
that's
is
probably the
infuriating.
most. I actually did, like, after that game, I was actually angry enough. I just snapped my keyboard in half.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah,
Oh.
like I did. I just stood up, went, "This is bullshit," and just snapped it right on my desk and walked away. I didn't touch my computer for like 3 days.
Oh.
Don't get tilted, folks. Like, don't do it. It gets expensive.
Yeah, getting tilted is a bad time. Well, mine's not. I don't know. The stakes on mine aren't nearly as high as yours, Dow. I'm just petty, I guess. I'd won.
Well, I mean, who isn't?
I was literally just playing casual Warzone with a couple of other players or whatever, and yeah, we'd won 2 games back to back. And we're on to the third, and we're obviously, small circle kind of deal. And there was one guy left. I don't know if we'd killed his squad mates or if he was like they'd died otherwise or whatever. Anyway, so I was the first for him to kill. Here's how we know he was wall hacking. I actually rushed up on him, and the way that he panned to shoot me, he was facing the wall the entire time. So he was in a corner, and he panned around. So he goes from looking at the wall to shooting me. Like immediately, immediate headshot. Now, bear in mind, I'm entering the room. I don't know exactly where in the room he is. So I obviously I hit the room, and then I'm panning around to eventually find him in the corner as he's already killed me or whatever. So anyway, obvious wall hacks and aimbotting, right? And then he moves up in the building, and just immediately, bam, bam, headshots on both of my squad mates, like that. Obvious aimbotter. Anyway, reason why I got mad about that. Yeah, I threw my headset and I stormed out and everything like that. Reason why it was just infuriating. Yeah. Getting cheated out of a win by a hacker is one thing. Getting cheated out of a third straight is something else.
Look, I will be angry about losing. I will get angry about losing. Even if I lose fair and square, like, I will get a little bit angry about that. Everybody does.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a difference between losing to a player of skill and losing to a computer program.
100%.
There's a huge difference. Yeah.
100%. My stream, my viewers know this. If I get beaten fairly, I get mad. But I still respect when someone beats me. I'm not the best at the game, but I respect when someone is better than me.
Right.
I will say, GG, motherfucker. Like, and that is my exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's my tipping my hat to you. But yeah, when a hacker, I will never GG a hacker. No sir. If anything, I'm gonna find where they live and do nothing because we're on stream and I don't want to get a ban. But oh boy, let's just say I get pretty mad when there's a hacker.
Right.
Anyway,
like it's a frustrating experience, and I understand. Like, I can understand why someone would want to, because they want to feel the exhilaration of the win. Like, it feels good to win.
Sure.
Like, it does. And I can understand why someone would be tempted to do that, especially in a game where there are things gated behind tiers of play, right? If there's skins that you can only get if you reach certain levels of play, or achievements or rewards, or even just to show that you can do it, people are going to want those. It's going to incentivize people to cheat just to obtain those rare things that are only around for a limited amount of time. So I can understand the want to do it, but for me, it's an integrity thing. I will never cheat in a multiplayer game, ever, not ever. Or any, and like I said, I've cheated before. Like, I've had a Game Shark. Come on. Like,
Well,
who
it's
hasn't?
funny that you bring that up because we were talking about this last week when we were talking about Pokemon, right? Because I think it really gets to the core of why we play video games to begin with. We play them to enjoy them. Now, in Pokemon, the example that we used was with the Game Shark and the action replay and the likes. Now, what people can do with those things in a game of Pokemon is they can give themselves 99 Master Balls and then you're good to go. Woo! What that does is it takes away exactly what you enjoy about the game. You know, the challenge of actually whittling a Pokemon down and catching it and everything like that. So it cheapens the experience. There's no way that you're enjoying Pokemon if you're just throwing a Master Ball at everything, right? Same sort of deal in in a multiplayer game. There is no way that you actually believe that you are good at a game when you've won because you were hacking. There is no fucking way.
After I have already beaten the game, there are a few games that like I've loaded up cheats on. I'm like, let's see how we can break the system and just like screw around and have some fun for a little bit.
Sure.
And I get bored so quickly. I'm like, yep, there's no challenge. There's no like I don't feel the sense of reward. And it's different for different people. Like some people will feel the sense of reward. And that's fine. But I mean really you're cheapening the experience for yourself. And, you know, at the end of the day, did you really, really earn that unique skin or that banner? Or did you really earn that? Or is there a computer program out there that has, you know, a couple thousand, you know, earns on this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's, you know, when it comes down to it, you know you didn't earn it. You know you didn't get where you got because of it. You know, God, who was it? It was maybe 2 months ago. I was watching a clip from Tim the Tatman where he was playing Call of Duty Warzone and he came into this cheater, and so he, rather than get like super tilted about this guy, he ended up being able to get the guy like in his chat and be like, hey, can we have like an honest discussion about this? Like, I'm not gonna ban you. I'm not gonna like, you know, anything like that. I actually like I want to know about this kind of thing. Like, you know, did you like honestly did you cheat your way to where you are? Or did you earn where you are without the cheat and then turn it on because you got bored, or like what is it? And he ended up having an actual really good discourse with this player that was using a cheat and like clearly cheating.
Oh yeah. That is such a Tim thing to do, though.
And, yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. Like he ended up having like an honest conversation with the guy, and it did bring a lot of understanding to the difference of mentality of those that who cheat to get where they are, and those that, you know, use those kind of programs. You know, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I understand it a little bit better. And that was his whole purpose. Like he wanted to understand why someone would be driven to do that. It turns out this particular guy, this was like his 5th or 6th account.
Yeah.
It was like his 5th or 6th account, and he had actually gone through and climbed all of the accounts up to the level he was. And then after he'd done them, he was like, well, let's see what cheating's about. Let's do that.
Well,
at least by his admission.
Sure, that's what he says.
Right, that's what he says. But you know, again, when he does it, like, and Tim asked him, like, you know that like when you do this, you ruin the experience for other people. He's like, yeah, like I'm aware of that, and you know, honestly, at the end of the day, I'm just out in it for myself. Like I don't really care about other people or anything like that. And that's more indicative of not just the mentality of like a cheater or people who play video games, but of the culture as a whole. You know, the mentality of our culture as a whole. Western culture teaches us to be out for ourselves and step on everyone else so that we gain the advantage.
To be fair, you're talking about a video game where the objective is to kill everybody else. Like,
Yeah, like,
so you
I
understand the
I get it.
mentality.
I do.
Yeah.
I understand the irony of the statement.
Yeah, but
but-
no, I absolutely agree with you. And what I want to say before we move on to the next topic, I've got to bring myself back in here. Listen, if that's you, if you're a cheater, all right, know this. I'm just going to say this. You aren't a real gamer. You're cheapening the experience for yourself and for everybody else. Don't cheat, and if you do cheat, then fuck you. That's all I got to say on that. Thank you for listening to my TED talk. All right. Oh yikes.
Like,
So
honestly, if you're a cheater in a game, I sincerely hope with all my willpower that every time you go to the bathroom and you go to poop, you only get like the last 5 squares that have the glue on the toilet paper that makes it really scratchy. I hope that's the rest of your experience for the rest of your life.
100%. There's a special place in
I
hell
hope that.
for cheaters. Anyway, you've got one less piece of cheating software that you can use now, cheaters.
Right.
Your days are numbered. So yeah, just be like Baby Bear. If you're not good at a game, just be a good support. Like these are team games. Let your team carry you if you're not good. Like damn.
Like I've played a fair amount of games with Baby Bears now. We've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 recently, and sure, she's not like the best at aiming and tracking, but she actually brings a lot to the table that doesn't involve those skills. She's a very good utility player. That has allowed me to do like some very clutch things. We've been playing Gambit quite a bit recently.
Oh wow! Okay.
So like,
I've got no doubt. I've watched Baby Bear on stream. Like she's a gamer.
No,
like,
she's not bad at the
yeah,
game.
exactly.
At all.
She's just being humble. Like yeah, ignore Baby Bear, but don't actually ignore her.
She understands that like my tracking and my aiming is better, and so she tries to set up and enable me to be in those positions where I can excel at that, and then she can come in and do the other tasks and rotate around to help continue to facilitate that sort of thing.
I actually enjoy playing with casual gamers. Mostly because I look good. But also, I always encourage them though. I always say, look, even if you are absolutely terrible at this game, if you add nothing else, you are somebody else for the other guys to shoot at instead of me. Like, if nothing else, if you get a kill or an assist in, then that's a bonus.
And when it comes down to it, I mean, it's a game. We're there to have fun.
Exactly.
That's the entire thing. And not everybody's going to have my mentality when it comes to a lot of shooters. Like, I play shooters to excel, to be better than the other guy, to see if I can reach, the pinnacle of the game. That's why I play. I enjoy the challenge of it. I understand that not everybody does that. There's a lot of people that just play because it's fun. They enjoy the experience. That's cool.
Oh, sure. For me, I don't know.
I don't have any problem with that at all.
We should absolutely squad up sometime, Dow. I think we would have some fun. Because, I agree. I don't know. I'm a little bit different. I like winning. I don't care about winning as much as I do about getting eliminations or kills. So I don't know. I'm frustrating to play a game like Fortnite with, right? Because I will want to drop just into the Authority or Lazy Lakes or somewhere like that where I know off the cuff I'm going to get like a shot at least 5 other people, if not more.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely play to win. I absolutely play to win.
You will drop like in the middle of nowhere.
If I can feed you to someone else,
if
I can feed you to someone else and then mop up and get that, that easy kill, yeah, I'm going to do that. Baby Bears and myself were playing Hyperscape and doing that kind of stuff. We're like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's the map. Here's the center point of the map. We're going to drop as far away as we can, gear up, and then come in, and we're going to mop up what we can and clean up, and we'll see if we can secure a couple wins. And we actually had pretty good luck with it. We did pretty well. And if you haven't played Hyperscape yet, like definitely give that one a go. It's a good game.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yes, Harlot, drop at the park bunker in Warzone. That's a good way to start your game. No, I'm deadly serious. Do it. The park bunker or the airport, I find, is a good spot in Warzone. But yeah, Hyperscape, I haven't downloaded Hyperscape yet. I'll have to check it out. A lot of people keep telling me it's a good game.
Yeah, it is. It's different than a lot of battle royales. It's very high mobility, but the combat of it isn't as grueling or isn't as definitive. A lesser skilled player can take out a higher skilled player if they use the environment to their advantage. There's a lot more tactics involved in it than just raw aim mechanics, which I appreciate. I'm not nearly as good as I used to be, and like I said, I'm an old man now, so I'm not as fast as a 16-year-old kid or a 21-year-old kid anymore. I'm just not. They're going to outskill me in most cases, but any game that I get to use tactics in, where maybe these kids haven't studied tactics or don't know how to use an environment to their advantage, I become the better player.
To be fair, Dow, the kids are like definitely
12 and 13, I know.
No, they're railed up on Red Bull,
and Adderall.
like so much Red Bull and Adderall. Yeah, exactly. So they've probably got that advantage over you. I'm not sure, but we'll find something to get us back on an even keel. But in the meantime,
the answer is tactics.
Yeah, use tactics. Well, we'll move on from Call of Duty. We have devoted, deservedly so, we've devoted a lot of time to it. Speaking of good games, through the week we were treated to some great news. CD Projekt Red have announced that they are giving The Witcher 3 a facelift and re-releasing it on next-gen consoles, so Xbox, whatever it's called, and the PlayStation 5. I say whatever it's called because you've got the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, so I guess it's whether you want to like shell out for the expensive one or get the basic model. But anyway, what we're talking about is, so they're re-releasing it, but it's going to be a free carryover for owners of the original game and DLC. So if you've got The Witcher 3, and like say the DLC and everything like that, or if you've got The Witcher 3 Game of the Year edition, which just comes standard with the DLC, then when you buy yourself a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series S or X, you will also be able to pick up The Witcher 3 remastered on that console for free as a free carryover. Yes, the Wild Hunt Baby Bear players. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, it's, yes, and also the same re-release is coming out on the PC. Thank you, Harlot. But this is another case and example. This isn't the first time that they've made an announcement on such a game. They're doing the exact same thing with Cyberpunk 2077 now. A lot of people knew about that. Of course, we're picking up Cyberpunk pretty late in the year and pretty much just before the new console's launch, right? So that made sense. That was like a 5-head play. Right. But yeah, an older game, like The Witcher 3, it is an older game now. It's still a fantastic game. But yeah, I mean, it would have been very easy for CDPR to say, well, look, we want to make bank, and you guys love The Witcher, so how about you pay for it again if you're playing next gen? They could have done that, and a lot of people would have paid. They didn't. Right. They did not. And that's in spite of the fact that other gaming companies are doing that. Look at 2K. If you buy the current gen version of NBA 2K21, and you buy yourself, say, a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, guess what? You're going to have to buy that game again. They're not carrying the release over. So it's not a case of everyone's following that trend. Yeah, 2K at least are making you pay twice with what will be a brand new game. It's just CDPR are taking this approach. My question is why? Like, why? I love it. I absolutely fucking love it. I don't ever want CDPR to stop being so good to us. They never release a half-cooked game. They always make sure a release is ready before it comes out. And the games that they do release are beautiful, beautiful games. given the approach of the industry, the attitude that everyone takes, I called out 2K. They're not the only ones. Activision are certainly guilty of not being nice to gamers. EA certainly come to mind. Bethesda haven't been all that nice to us recently. It seems to be more and more big gaming devs and companies are definitely not being as nice to the player base in the interest of making money. My question is, why are CDPR so good to us? Dao, do you know?
I don't know specifically. I do have a couple of theories. In recent years, indie game developers have become a lot more relevant and popular. And indie game developers, because they don't have the big AAA titles behind themselves to back themselves, they have to be good to us. And honestly, we as gamers are getting spoiled by it. Like, there was probably a good 8-year gap up until maybe 2 years ago, where if you wanted a AAA game title, you just expected that you were going to get a beta release of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's take a look at a couple examples. We're going to call out Fallout 76, Fallout
Oof.
4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're gonna call out even for Blizzard, which traditionally has been really good to its players. Once they kind of got in bed with Activision, things changed a little bit. We've got the newest versions of World of Warcraft, the last 2 expansions for that. Diablo 3 in recent years has been doing some pretty shoddy things. And we as gamers have just come to expect that's what that's just what gaming is. We get the game and then it's completely unplayable. We wait a week for some kid in his mom's basement or whatever to code up some patch, and then we apply that mod and now it's a playable game. We've come to expect that. That's a real thing that happens, by the way. I called out Fallout 4 for a reason. When it released, less than 10% of the people who bought the game could play the game. And in 24 hours, literally a 16-year-old kid in his mom's basement wrote a patch for the game that made it playable.
Mm-hmm.
24 hours, one kid, Doritos and Mountain Dew. That's all it took. And I look at this kind of stuff and go, what is the reason that Bethesda couldn't do this? They have a whole team that knew this was a problem. They knew it was a problem in beta test. They knew it was a problem in alpha test. Yet they didn't fix it. They didn't patch it. They just released it as is.
That is
because
so
they knew they were going to make money on it, and they knew someone else would patch it, and they knew they didn't have to do the work and pay for it. AAA game devs have gotten lazy about that kind of stuff. And, we as gamers have started to recognize that and kind of started to boycott releases on it. So, companies like CDPR, they have to stay relevant to that mentality. That and like the only other truly successful video game company that we really can't gripe about as far as game releases and never really have been able to is Nintendo. They have a wonderful model. They release full games, and if it's not ready yet, they'll tell you, hey, so it's not ready yet. Unfortunately, we have to push that title back a little bit, but we want to give you a playable game.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Nintendo got a lot of nice things said about them last week. We talked about how and we've talked about it a lot. How Nintendo certainly are the good guys of the gaming world. Yeah. They have been for a very long time. Think about way back when gaming was first starting out. Nintendo had dedicated call centers of what they called gaming counselors. So if you were struggling on any particular Nintendo title, you could call the hotline, and someone would talk you through the level. Like imagine that. Imagine that. By the way, guys, vote Coop for 2022, and as I said, you will all have gaming counselors for Dark Souls 2. Guarantee. Anyway, moving on. But that's so a Nintendo thing to do. Coming back to
exactly.
Man, actually, let's steer clear of Bethesda.
Like I said, Blizzard used to do that before they were taken over by Activision, but I mean, it's Activision, so.
Oof.
Yeah, oof. I have problems with Activision. Just a couple. It's. I think a lot of gamers, even though we were complacent for a while, we got to the point where we really kind of got fed up with it. I think like it got pushed too far as games being released and not being playable or having these massive bugs in them. I'm gonna give you a minute to deal with that. She does that.
What? Baby Bear plays! What are you doing? Holy shit. Okay, I'm going... For your sakes, Dow, I'm going to mute myself because it's going to get pretty loud.
I'm just gonna...
Yeah. Oh, boy. Baby Bear! Girl, what are you doing? What? Holy shit. Baby Bear, thank you so much. Wow. Wow, okay. Well, if you just got a gift sub from Baby Bear, make sure you jump in and say thank you. Holy shit, guys. Well, you know what this means. Wow, okay, here it comes. Everybody, strap yourselves in. Rope, like lots and lots. Holy shit. Lots and lots of rope. Oh my sweet lord. Okay. Oh, what a pog champ. Baby Bear plays. Okay. Let's get to business. No more messing around, guys. We've got some acknowledgement to do. Doyles. Fus. Roda! My head, I'm gonna have to go this way. My hand just hit the desk then. Vishy Seas. Fus. Roda! Wistoram. Fus. Roda! Winsome Oldiva. Fus. Roda! Wingreg Gnair. Fus. Roda! Sassy Winterfox. Hey, Sass. Hope you're going good, girl. Fus. Roda! Let's play Cyberpunk. Hey, yes, let's play Cyberpunk. Fus. Roda! Henzo the Weirdo. Hope you're doing good, my guy. Happy Sunday. Fus. Roda! Ben JCV, the greatest Fall Guys player in the world. Fus. Roda! Mac Attack 34. Return of the Mac. Fus. Roda! Ooh, shit. The neighbors are going to call the cops. Never mind, though. Savory Herking. Fus. Roda! Tasteful Former Style. Fus. Roda! Steve Stone. Fus. Roda! Unlon Duat. Fus. Roda! Super Bully! Hey, hope you're going good, girl. Fus. Roda! Speedy Vestuf. How do you say that? Fus. Roda! Short Sleeve. Fus. Roda! Who else have I got? Silver Ballerina. Fus. Roda! Bethan. Fus. Roda! And Joey Jooson. Fus. Roda! Oh. Well, he's subbed now, isn't he, Harlot? Damn. Accidentally punched my cam. I nearly did a couple of times then, Dow. Baby Bear, thank you so much. Thank you so much, girl. Holy shit. Whoa. Whoa. So much love, girl. Hey. we love Beffin on this channel. GG, baby bear. Guys, well, it goes without saying. It should go without saying. Baby Bear plays absolute MVP. I just about typed MVP then. Guys, if you have not already, I've shouted her out before in this channel. She got wronged by a follow bot, guys. So really, you should go and jump in and follow this lady. She, as I mentioned earlier, I have watched her streams before. She makes some amazing content, a lot of fun, legendary vibes, and just an overall amazing human being. So please go and check out Baby Bear Plays and drop her a follow and just send so much love that way. Holy shit. Oh boy. I'm feeling pretty humble. Thank you so much, Baby Bear. Wow. Wow. Okay. Dao, I'm unmuted. My throat's a bit scratchy. I can't lie to you, but I'm unmuted. But yeah, coming. Oh boy. Don't listen to Co-op. People are still on about that. I got mad about that follow bot, Baby Bear. I got mad about that. I really did. I actually. A lot of us did. I broke down on stream. I went on like a 10-minute rant about it and just started shouting at the camera. DaoofZ was on that time, and we were kind of talking about it. Oh, yikes. But hey, absolutely, her channel's absolutely amazing. Go check that shit out. Seriously, can recommend if you want quality content. And she's a Sydney streamer too, so hey, Aussie, woo. Boy. So coming back to CDPR, Dao. Just okay. So coming back to talking about The Witcher, because that's something that they've done now. The author of the series, now he's actually I don't know, he's probably my spirit animal, just the way he approaches things. He seems like a really low effort kind of dude. Had a great creative idea and put it into books. But yeah, you probably have heard the stories about the Netflix series. He didn't want to be really all that involved with it because he just didn't want the extra work. And it was the same with the game. Right. He sold the rights to the game to CDPR way back when. And at that time he was honestly, I don't see this game being anything. So yeah, I don't know. I think he took a pittance for it. And he practically gave it away for free. Now, of course, The Witcher went on to become what it became. And, there was a written agreement in place. He did reapproach him to be like, hey, you're actually, I never expected this, but you are actually taking away a lot more from my property than what even I am of the books. So what they actually did was they renegotiated, they restructured that deal to be more fair. That's what I mean, Harlot. He didn't sell the rights away. He sold the rights to making the game, is what I mean. Sorry for choosing the wrong words there. But the point that I'm making here is they had every legal right, and honestly, if he was dealing with an EA or an Activision or pretty much anyone else really, they would have told him where to go. Instead, they actually did come to the table and they did the right thing, which they never had to do. So, just another example of why these guys are so good. And there was no financial benefit to them doing that. In fact, I don't know, aside from people who are really into it was
definitely a financial detriment for them doing it.
Exactly. They make less money off the games this way.
CDPR, it's a lot like, I keep going back to this, it's a lot like Blizzard before they were bought up by Activision. I mean, those game devs, they're gamers. They're not businessmen, right? They're just gamers. They want to make good games. They want to make quality games. They want to bring joy to people's life. And it shows. It absolutely does. And it's a model that I wish more game devs and more, especially the AAA game devs, would follow. you're there to bring entertainment to the public. You're there to show people a good time and let them enjoy the product. Sure, you're making some money off of it, but like that's
sure.
not your primary goal. Your primary goal is to bring joy to people's lives, and that's what CDPR does. They're gamers. They're there to bring a good product. They're not there to make make endless amounts of money.
And it seems to me like that's definitely the approach that they take. That they're there to make games, and to make just great games for gamers to enjoy. I don't know. Obviously I can't see their balance sheet, right? But it definitely looks a lot like what money they do make off a release goes on to fund their next project. And when I say fund, I mean as in I don't see them taking like much off the top. Look at everything that has gone into Cyberpunk.
So I was looking into this earlier today, just to like brush up on it and make sure that I knew what I was talking about when I did this. The CDPR, they actually have one of the lowest paid staffs of all of the game devs, right? They make less than, I think it's below a 50% mark of the average. And there's a lot of people that work for that company that have quit that company, and like you can look it up on Glassdoor for the Glassdoor reviews, and there's news articles about it. Well, we don't get paid that much, and like the crunch time really sucks. And what you don't think about is like every game dev has that crunch time, and they rely on a bigger paycheck to just convince their employees to deal with the bullshit, as it were.
Sure.
CDPR, they rely on the mentality of, we don't pay you as much, but we're just a bunch of gamers trying to make games. Like, that's it. They rely on that mentality of we're good people. Sure, they don't pay as high wages as everybody else, but at the same time, this is also a company that goes, hey, I realize that like maybe you're struggling a little bit in life, and we can't increase your wages, but what we can do is let's take care of those medical bills for you. Or hey, let's buy you this house, or we'll get your car fixed, or just buy you a new car. They do that kind of thing. No, you don't want to see my face, Harlot. It's fine. They do those kinds of things. So even though they don't pay their employees as much,
right. Sorry about that.
Well, like I said, they don't want to see my face anyways.
It's just like me looking at you.
Right. It really shows when you see companies do that. They're there for the people, right? They're not there for the money. And when you look past just the games, and even though they are a good quality game dev that give us really good gameplay, if you look beyond that in the way they treat their employees and help their employees out, and the things they do for the community around them, you can see that it's they really do care about people as a whole. It's not about the money that they can make. There are game devs that are there for the people, for to bring that experience and to build a good community. And then there are game devs out there, cough Bethesda, that are there to make money, and it shows.
Oh,
right?
Doesn't it?
It really does show. And yeah, Bethesda, sure, they're one of the highest paid game devs, in the industry. They pay more than any other game dev, hands down. But the working conditions are crap. They don't treat their employees well. They mismanage a lot. They don't release good quality games. There's no community involvement. There's no anything. Like, they're there to make a buck. And game devs like CDPR, they're there for the people. They're there for the community, not just their online community, but they do a lot of local community work as well. They put a lot of money into beautifying the local area and helping the community out, helping out with affordable housing. They do things like go out and they, not just employees, they'll be like, hey, we see that you're struggling with these medical bills. You've got this problem that you can't deal with. Let us help you with that because we want to.
Yeah.
So what it comes down to like really answer the root of your question, why do they treat us so well? It's because they're good people. That's the answer. It's because the company as a whole is just filled with good people who care about other people, and just in that, I will always support a company that does that.
Oh,
Always.
easily. 100%. And, you know, I have said this, I feel like find myself saying this every podcast almost. We talk about Cyberpunk every podcast because it is going to be like the game this year, I think.
Yeah.
But I've said this so much. I'm like, I do not buy games at release anymore. I don't do that. Because, as you've pointed out, like, I'm not going to rehash anything you've just said, Dow. AAA game developers treat us like shit. They are there to make a buck. They will either release a game that's full of microtransactions or what have you, or they'll release a half-baked game and then
or both.
Exactly, and then add the rest of the game later in DLC and content that you can pay for. I just don't
but it's
do
also
it.
broken.
I don't buy games at release anymore. Unless it's a CDPR game. I will, this year, purchase Cyberpunk 2077 at release. In fact, I'm kind of mad at myself I haven't pre-ordered it yet. That is how much good faith this developer actually has bought with gamers. Because they obviously do, as a company, have a set of values, right? And then they literally build themselves around those values. Everything that they do is dictated by those values. They stick to them. It comes through in, I certainly did observe a lot of testimonials from staff that work in CDPR. And they said the same thing.
Really?
No, our paycheck isn't great. But here's the thing: we have all of these other benefits, and that you can tell when a company does that, they have like a more engaged workforce. Sure, there's crunch. Unfortunately, crunch exists not just in gaming, in any workforce.
It's an industry thing.
Yeah,
like it has to, like it's just part of the industry. I mean, there's so much setup and so much work that goes into developing games, and like as gamers, we don't really think about that. But like when it comes down to that 3-month window right before, where you have to finish everything and polish everything and put it all together and make it, make it a playable game, that is the hardest part of game dev, is the last 3 months right there. Everybody's pulling 12 and 14-hour shifts. Everybody's skipping meals, running completely fueled on Red Bull and coffee and just.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, and like I said, that exists in every every industry seemingly. Like you think about folks that work in a hospital right now. Someone comes in losing a lot of blood. Do you think that you got time for a lunch break? No. You are there like doing whatever it is that you do, whether you're like, the blood scientist who's doing the transfusion, whether you're the doctor doing doctor things. My medical knowledge is phenomenal, guys. But the point is, like, like people that work in a hospital, they deal with crunch. Lawyers deal with crunch. Guess what? Retail workers, if you're looking at stock take at the end of the financial year, guess what? You're dealing with crunch. It doesn't matter what industry you work in. You're going to be dealing with crunch. It gets talked about a lot more in the gaming industry, I guess. But yeah, I'm not trying to rubbish the idea, because I do believe in treating employees well and good, healthy workplaces and everything like that. But it is just a thing as well. So.
Right, and it's not a perfect company. It isn't. Like I said, if you look up if you look them up on Glassdoor and you read the reviews, there are a fair amount of disgruntled employees, but most of the interactions that those employees have aren't towards the company. It's because they've had a disagreement with another employee, or because they feel like a portion of a project was mismanaged, or they weren't given the proper information to complete their job because a manager dropped the ball somewhere. It's it's not the negative reviews that you get about CDPR aren't negative reviews on the company. They're more negative reviews on an individual within the company, just because there's a clash. Like anytime you work with a person, like there's gonna be a clash. It's just going to happen. You're not gonna get along with everybody you ever run into, and that's where the bulk of the negative reviews come from.
Exactly. That's the thing with Glassdoor is, you do have to take it with a grain of salt, because there certainly are reviews that appear on those sorts of sites that are from people who've just been laid off. Like, of course you're not going to go on to Glassdoor and give a good review if someone's just fired you.
Right.
But yeah, look, that's the thing. A lot of the folks who are in CDPR and, in various aspects of the company, they are gamers themselves. They are in the gaming community. Right. You can find them pretty handily on Reddit. Obviously they can't talk about the projects they're working on, but a lot of times you'll find threads where they do actually talk about what it's like working there. And what I continuously do see in those threads is they definitely seem satisfied with their resume. If you are a career game developer, right, you're someone just trying to cut their teeth, what better resume are you going to have if you can say you worked on The Witcher 3, you worked on Cyberpunk 2077? Like, how does that get any better in terms of game development? Right. Like the quality of mechanics that you've dealt with, the gaming engine that you've been able to work on, character models, story development, everything like that. Like, it doesn't matter what you've actually done on those games. They are all top. Both of them are Cyberpunk's not even out yet, and we know it's going to be a top tier title. The Witcher is The Witcher, like probably one of the most celebrated games like this gen, right?
Right.
Yeah. So if you've worked on it, like from a gaming development point of view, someone looks at that and they go, "Whoa, okay, that you worked on the benchmark. You've been on the benchmark. Okay." Like, it pretty much opens up every other door. That certainly is like a benefit that those guys know that they have, just being on that team. Maybe they are taking a pay cut compared to if they were working for Bethesda or for Activision, wherever it is that they might be working. Even Obsidian actually are pretty decent to their staff pay wise, but. Yeah, like, again, as I said, you don't really have those mad bragging rights that you do if you are on that CDPR team. So, sick times. I'm glad that we uncovered that mystery. And hey, if you just so happen to be someone from CDPR, or, someone that works for them or whatever. I don't know.
I would love to test Cyberpunk 2077. I'm just saying, like,
that's not what I was gonna say. I mean, sure, if you want to send me,
I'm putting it out there just in case.
You want to send me a pre-release copy of Cyberpunk, goes without saying, I'm not gonna say no to it. But no, that's not what I was saying. What I was saying was this. I just wanted to say thank you. I'm sure all other gamers appreciate you, and hey, keep on doing what you're doing and keep being awesome. Moving on to something completely different. We were talking about Nintendo a little earlier, Dao, and how they're the good guys. Something that we covered last week, and I saw Gilded Branch in chat. How you doing, Branch? I hope you're having a good morning, my good friend. Something that we were covering off, we were talking about Pokemon. Now, that discussion, Dow, got me thinking about, the real life application of Pokemon. Like, if they existed here today, in real life, okay, and you could have any one Pokemon. Let's just say, you got up and you said hi to your mum and you went outside and you went to Professor Oak's house, and then he's like, "Hey, DaoofZ, how you living? Look, need you to go on a Pokemon adventure, like, to the store. Here, pick a Pokemon, any Pokemon, not just one of the starters, any Pokemon. What would it be? What would you choose?"
So as knowledgeable and as easily as I talk about all of the other subjects that we've talked about today, I am not a Pokemon kid. I never was. Right? I think I played Pokemon. Yeah, this is where I'm lacking, guys. This right here. I played Pokemon Red over like a 24-hour period back when it first released, and that was it. So I'm definitely not an expert on this. I did call on an expert for their opinion, though. And what he told me was Ash's Pikachu is the one that he would want, and I'm like, well, of course everybody wants that Pikachu. It's like an actual like literal god, so it's not really a fair assessment. So yeah, I don't really have an answer for this. I have
Was
some
your
opinions
source
that were thrown at me,
Daldaros?
like
Be honest.
no, it was my son. My source was my son.
Oh.
Yeah.
That seemed like a Daldaros answer.
So I don't really have an answer for this one, just because I'm not like I don't have enough information to really answer it. Outside of I know that there's a Pokemon that's a lamp, and so I'm gonna go with that just because it'll help light up my life.
Yeah, Baby Bear. We talked about this last podcast. Yes, so controversial development in the Pokemon universe. I will give my answer to the question in a moment, but yeah, this just comes up in chat, so I've got to address it. Yeah, so Branch had some intel last podcast. In the Pokemon anime series, talk is in the upcoming season or whatever, Pikachu's going to evolve into a Raichu, which, for the record, I am completely against. And I'm going to rehash why. Because I talked about this last week, let me talk about it this week. Okay, so there was an episode in the earlier seasons, all right, where Ash is trying to battle, LT Surge. He's got a Raichu, and Ash and Pikachu are just getting their asses kicked. Pretty much. They got nothing, and, Ash is like, and everyone's telling Ash, and Ash is telling the Pikachu that there's no way that they're going to beat this guy unless Pikachu evolves into Raichu. And, well, the moral, what they learn, and the moral of the lesson that the episode teaches us is this. Pikachu learns that he learns to value himself, and he learns to acknowledge the strengths that come with him being who he is, like being a Pikachu. And they actually end up beating Lieutenant Surge because Pikachu, being a Pikachu and not a Raichu, has quick attack and double team and those sorts of moves. And so he's obviously faster and more nimble than Raichu. So yeah, they end up winning. Anyway, the lesson that you learn from that episode, and the lesson that I can say as a kid I learned from Pikachu not evolving, is you've got to love and value yourself for who you are and recognize what good you bring to every situation, and not to try and be something or be someone else just because even when everyone else is telling you that you need to be good at something. So that was obviously a really powerful message that, as you can tell, has resonated with me. So to me at least, as a Pokemon fan and as a viewer and as an idiot, but as somebody, it just really cheapens / undoes all of that good faith and all of the power of that message just evolving Pikachu into Raichu.
I mean, now understand this from someone who is not, I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of the series, I just don't necessarily watch it. I am aware of it, and I do know about the episode you're talking about. A lot of it's going to come down to, I suppose, like how they go about it, because there is another lesson to be learned there. Stagnant is not yes, appreciate yourself and value yourself for who you are, but be willing to grow and develop and learn and change and evolve beyond yourself. So there is another approach to that and another lesson behind that they could do, which I think would be okay for them to do. But if they don't take that approach, there's pretty much no acceptable reason other than that to really evolve Pikachu at this point. I mean, this has been a mainstay and like a lesson of like just be true to yourself, because that's not the only episode that particular lesson has come up in.
Oh, sure.
You know,
well, what comes?
I mean, this has been going on what?
It's a very long-running series now. Yeah.
Almost, I want to say like 20 years now, something like that. Like pretty, you know, it's unless you're taking that approach, then you're just changing it to change it because you think you're going to make a buck off of it, and
it
yeah,
breaks.
And that's unfortunately that's what a lot of our conversations today has come down to is you know, do you value moralistic standpoints over making a quick buck or not?
Yeah, it just reeks of, I don't know, throwing something jazzy in there to spice the series up because you feel like it's getting stale. Like The Simpsons did
try and make it more relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, The Simpsons did it with Marge divorcing Homer, right? Corona. No, I'm fine, guys. But yeah, I don't know. I really like the idea that you have there with that message.
I'm just going to social distance a little bit more there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay, I'll throw my mask on and yeah. But no, seriously. I like that idea that you have with the message, right? You know, about evolving, and developing, growing.
And they have already run that. Way that I could see it going.
Yeah, they have already run that, and they did it in the perfect way. Again, I'm going back to season 1. Yeah, this is how into this I am. There was an episode with Ash's Metapod. So he found a Caterpie, and yeah, the Caterpie evolved into a Metapod. And so anyway, long short of the episode is they come across all these Butterfree in the forest, and the Metapod decides to evolve into a Butterfree, and leaves Ash to go and be free with all of the other Butterfrees. So yeah, you get that message there, right? Because in the episode, the Metapod's like, okay, look, we've reached this part of our adventure together, bro. But look, this is a time for me to evolve and grow and change, and go on to something else, like go on a new adventure or whatever. And the episode addressed it perfectly. Like there was a lot of tears and emotions and everything like that. But yeah, it just I don't know that they can really pull that off again. Maybe they will, but. Yeah, but it gave us that closure too, though. You know, it wasn't just okay. Butterfree's a Butterfree now. No, Butterfree has evolved, and he's gone off and he's doing his own Butterfree things.
Here I'm like, yeah. So I'm not an expert on the series, and I'm not. My son is. Over this year, I have watched the entirety of Pokemon, like just. From the sidelines kind of thing, like at my computer, because the TV is just right over there.
Sure.
You know, I have watched the entirety of the Pokemon series like 4 times this year.
So you've had a crash course. You've studied.
Right. Like, there's things that I've absorbed. So I have seen that episode as well. And I know that they did bring that Butterfree back in a later episode.
Yeah, he showed up.
Well, it was like 15 or so episodes later, they brought the Butterfree back, and you know, they basically like you know, the lessons behind that were you know, the Butterfree had changed and evolved and become something more than he was, not necessarily better, just more, right? And they kind of rehashed that same lesson just to give it further closure. And like I said, it's a possibility for them to do it to evolve Pikachu to Raichu and go that route. And it may even be more powerful in that moment if they do it the right way. But they have to execute that perfectly in order to pull that off.
Oh, yeah.
And if they don't, it might very well be like a nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, at least for the long running diehard fans.
Well, aside from Ash and Pikachu, the series really does look pretty unrecognizable to what it was when it started, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like even his hat has changed. Like he has none of his old companions.
And there was there was the section where they kind of did away with Pikachu for a while, and they brought in like some sort of Ninja Frog. And I know that season wasn't nearly as popular. It was weird, and a lot of people were very against it. I'm just kind of rambling until Coop gets back because I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this one.
You were doing fine. I could hear you. I just had to let the dog back in. Yeah.
As I know that wasn't nearly as popular, and they got a lot of flack from it, and ended up not only losing viewership and fan base from it, but they also ended up losing a fair amount of. Is that Great Ninja? Okay. It was a frog ninja. That's what I know.
Oh, sure.
I know they got a lot of backlash from that, and not only losing a fair amount of the fan base, but also, losing a fair chunk of money. So they have to be very careful about what they're doing, especially for a series that's been running as long as it has been. You have to be careful about making large changes to a franchise like that, and you have to be careful about the direction you take it in, because one wrong move and you absolutely can kill it just because the fan base is literally fanatical about it.
Oh yeah, and the reason being, and this is something we covered off last week too, is Nintendo generally have mascots, right? Like Mario is a mascot.
Right.
Pikachu is a mascot of Pokemon. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, like easily. You think of Pokemon, you like you think of Pikachu. You see Pikachu, you're like, oh yeah, Pokemon. Like, he is absolutely a mascot. Think of all the merchandise and the toys and everything. It's all Pikachu. Right. Yeah, I don't think, like, as I said, I can understand maybe there's a way for you to change that. I just don't think it's smart to mess with it to begin with.
Right. Like, at this point, if they truly feel that it's stagnant and they're not relevant, they're better off to close up and wrap off the series and either start a new one with a different iconic pair, or just wrap it and let it be. If they truly feel that, like, this is the move that they need to make to avoid being stagnant, they would be better off just to wrap it up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It is feeling more and more like that. Like, I don't know. It was fun to see, but you can tell by things
it's
like
the supernatural phenomenon.
Oh, sure, but like recently, Ash won his first like league championship. Like in all the time that the series was running, he'd come close a few times. But yeah, in the series, I think it was in this most recent season, Ash actually won the Pokemon League. Yeah, and that was like a huge moment or whatever. But yeah, it just felt like that was it didn't feel cheap, but it felt just like it was thrown out there just to give us something to talk about. Because otherwise, let's be fair, we weren't talking about it. Like, I don't think kids were even talking about it, really. Yeah, so it became like a meme. It was like, oh, after 20 years or whatever, Ash has won his first Pokemon League. And yeah, it was like,
yeah, I mean, never mind the fact that, Ash and Pikachu have taken down literal gods.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, that was...
Yeah, won a local tournament.
Exactly. It's like, I kind of liked I liked the character of Ash better because he wasn't actually winning, so to speak. He was going on all these adventures. He was encountering all these things, making all these conquests and everything like that. But when it actually came to a competition, he wasn't actually the best, so to speak. I think that actually worked better than this, oh, well, look, he's actually won. Like, now he's the best. Haha, go, our hero. Like, yeah, just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, across the board, when you're talking about gamers, right, and I tie this back to what we were talking about earlier with the whole COD roster change, right? You've got these limited franchises and everything, and now each of those franchises only has 4 active players on each game. So that means that there's only a select few that play, and even fewer that win at an elite level and can say that they are the best at a video game, which means that the majority of players aren't the best. So, you might be very good, you aren't the best. And that's why you have a character like Ash in an anime series like the Pokemon one that resonates with a majority of gamers, because he might be very good. He's not, well, up until recently, he wasn't the best. And, he's hardly the only example, but it just does remind me of that dynamic, that development happening too.
Right. I mean, come on. The theme song is "I want to be the very best," not "I am the very best." Like,
Exactly.
it's the journey to get there. He's accomplished that. What do you do from there?
Exactly. Precisely. It just reeks of Fonzie jumping the shark in Happy Days a little bit, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
It's like, well, okay, where do we go from here? You don't. The show's over, maybe.
Right.
But look, Pokemon's still going. I don't think that Ash winning the league has jumped the shark yet. I think if you do evolve Pikachu, I think you definitely are jumping the shark there. So, guys, don't do it, is all I can say. Now, to answer the original question, if you could have a Pokemon in real life, who would it be? Well, for me, it's got to be Charizard. Okay? Hands down, without a moment of doubt in my mind. And, before you say anything, now, traditionally, Charizard does not respect weak trainers. The meme in, the first couple of seasons of Pokemon was Ash couldn't get Charmeleon or Charizard to obey him. They'd just do their own thing and they'd only battle if they wanted to, and that was fun and all. Here's my deal. Here's something that I've got that Ash, didn't, until, a while. I've got all of the gym badges. So, with my Charizard, he's definitely going to obey me. It's going to be great. I won't need to drive anymore. I like driving my car. I don't like traffic. So I don't need to worry about traffic anymore, because I just, get on my Charizard and I fly to wherever I'm flying to. And, that's going to be a vibe. Look, if there is a hacker in Call of Duty, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to get on my Charizard. I'm going to go over to his place, and my Charizard's going to breathe fire on the hacker. Bam. That's happening. Also, pretty much I'd be living with, a dragon Pokemon. Even though he's not classed as a dragon Pokemon, he's a Pokemon literally modeled after a dragon. So, that's pretty pog. That's my final answer. Charizard, Coop's Pokemon, if Pokemon existed in real life. Easy mode. And you're going with Ash's Pikachu.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of options. What's the one that looks like a Pokeball but is an electric type? Can I just have a phone charger follow me around everywhere I go?
I mean, yeah.
Just an outlet.
Electrode?
I could do that. And there's a strong case for Magikarp, just because I might get hungry.
Oh yeah. You want to eat the Magikarp? Oh no.
They have their uses, for sure. But I don't know which one I would personally have in my real life, because like I said, I'm not an expert and never really developed a favorite.
I don't think I'd need to worry about electricity.
Possibly Snorlax, just because I've got a bed everywhere I go, just snuggle in and just go to sleep.
Yeah, but when he goes to sleep, he blocks up entire walkways.
I mean,
and you'll have
sometimes I just don't want to be bugged by people. So,
and if you have a Poke, I'm nerding out on you, and it's just going. But yeah, if you have a Pokeflute, you're fine. Sure, Snorlax with a Pokeflute, he'd be mad for your entourage, I think. I doubt anyone is going to mess with you if you're walking around with a Snorlax behind you. But yeah. Smoked Magikarp. No, instead of eating, I'm anti-seafood. We've talked about this before, everybody. But
really? Really?
Yes.
We can't be friends anymore.
Well,
we can't.
That's on you. That's on you. I have a very good reason. Okay, when everybody stops overfishing the ocean and the sharks stop coming inland and getting like cold because they're eating people, then I will resume eating fish. Until that time, guys, it's just not happening. I'm not going to go like a regular vegan on you and be like, oh, stop doing that. I'm just saying I don't eat seafood, and that's the end of it. But yeah, no, what you should be doing with Magikarp, guys, is letting him splash away until he evolves into a Gyarados. Like what are you doing?
And becomes useful? Yeah.
Gyarados is, I don't know, useful might be an understatement. Gyarados is PogChamp. He's like one of the best. If I didn't say Charizard, I would have said Gyarados would be the Pokemon I'd want. Hands down, eating Magikarp. What? Oh, yikes. I don't even know, guys. All of the yikes. We had an abundance of fish. Had being the operative word. Oh, you lived on an island. Okay. Well, you lived on an island. Like, what else are you going to do, Baby Bear? Like, go Lord of the Flies and eat each other or whatever happens in that book? It's been a long time. But, yeah, anyway, like, that's my point. I mean, I live where? Brisbane, Australia. I don't need to eat fish, so I'm not going to, like, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Baby Bear. Exactly. I don't need to defend my position. I have my values and my beliefs, and I'm sticking to them, guys. You can't shove fried Magikarp down my throat. But damn. But that's where I sit on it. Charizard's my guy. You're going to have an Electrode, or you're going to fry a Magikarp.
Yeah, well, I mean, and there's other options. Like I said, I don't really know, because like I'm not an expert in the in the field of Pokemon, so I can't make an educated decision. But I mean, a phone charger, just the ability to like jump my car battery whenever I need. I mean, it seems handy, useful.
Yeah, like seriously, the amount of times my phone goes dead during the day, it's actually a pretty pog choice to have like a Magnemite or something hanging around, just been like, oh,
Yeah.
Don't worry, bro, I'll keep your phone charged. Like, there you go. I mean,
It's not bad. Like, my entire livelihood is built off my phone, so I mean, if it dies, I'm not able to support myself. So, I mean, it's not a bad choice overall.
There you go. Hey, I'll take that over you frying a Magikarp, that's for sure. So, you don't think you'd be able to kill a Pokemon? Yeah, I'd like to think that you wouldn't kill a Pokemon. You'd use them to, like terraform building structures. Yeah, exactly. Like, me and my Charizard could come and help someone build a house, because like, lift things.
Life would be very, very different if Pokemon were a thing. Like, I feel like if Pokemon were a thing in real life, most people would actually just be vegetarians.
Whoa.
Our entire society would be different. Technology would be different,
So what's the deal? So the Pokemon, I guess, replace regular animals. So instead of like having cows, you'd have like Miltank and Tauros and whatnot. So if you wanted to eat beef, that's what's happening. Like, you got to kill a Miltank.
Right, but at the same time, like, because Pokemon do have abilities and powers, like the Electrode or whatever it was that you had mentioned earlier, like, that's a renewable energy source that we don't have to have dams or mine coal for, or those sorts of things. So the way we process things in our technology would be different. And I'm sure there would be Pokemon out there that, I mean, maybe largely seen as a food source, but I still feel that like most people would probably overall be vegetarians at that point, just because they have other more effective uses than a source of sustenance.
I mean, sure, I'd agree with that, except for Whitney's Miltank. I definitely would kill and eat that thing. That thing fucks me off. I'm not even playing right now. I'm sure she just used rollout again. But yeah, that's beside the point. I think so. We got an interesting insight into what that all looks like in the Detective Pikachu movie, somewhat recently. There was some they did the world building right. I think they delved into it, but not too much to the point where it's just expositing things on you. What I'm keen to see is the sequel. I feel like they definitely can expand a lot more on what the world of Pokemon looks like. With real people and Pokemon like living together and everything like that. But yeah, it is an interesting thing to think about. You're like, okay, we don't mine coal anymore to generate power. So what are the people who would be coal miners? What are they doing? What's their job now?
Well, I mean, that's something that we do out of necessity. So those that do those jobs out of necessity would probably do other necessity-driven jobs, such as farming or
what are you farming?
Lumber working, or farming grain, or.
But there's Pokemons that are actually trees too. Like you think of Sudowoodo. Well, he's not actually a tree, but he looks like one. What if all the trees were Sudowoodo all of a sudden? Like, would you chop the trees?
I mean, the alternative is, caves, right?
We live in caves now.
I mean, that's the alternative is stone mining. So, those workers would, might very well become quarry workers.
But
sorry about, your onyx and your.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if all of the rocks were Geodudes and onyx and the like? Are you gonna mine the rocks? Like.
I mean, necessity is still a thing. It's still going to overwrite. Like, it is. It's necessity is still a thing, and it's still going to overwrite the moralistic standpoints. But well, no, I get it. So I mean, yeah. The answer is yeah. We would. Let's be honest. We do it now. We would do it then.
I like Baby Bear selection. Piplup to make bubbles and things like that. You just got so Piplup is like a little penguin Pokemon. And it just blows bubbles. That'd be easy. I know it'd be like a cute thing to. You wouldn't need to worry about pets. They'd make just like a good pet. You could have like a pet Pokemon,
right?
What is it? Growlithe is pretty much just like the dog Pokemon.
Yeah.
And he evolves into Arcanine, which is like a big dog Pokemon. I dig that. Yeah. Awesome applications for Pokemons. You've done well with this topic, considering you don't really play it or anything. So hey, GG to you.
I know a little bit, but not.
What a way to finish.
I can't hold intelligent, in-depth conversations on it.
Yeah, I'm like, so what strat do you use when you're battling the? Yeah, no, don't worry. I wasn't sure if you were into it, so I just made it a really basic, casual sort of question.
Yeah.
If you had a Pokemon, what would it be? Nice and easy, my guy. Well, as I said, what a way to finish, with a bang, and I actually made you sweat on a topic, which I didn't think I could do. Because as someone...
There's this myth that I know everything. I don't. I keep telling people I don't know everything, but so far people are convinced that I know everything. I'm like, oh.
Well, DaoofZ, I can say you have wowed us with your knowledge today. It goes without saying. I think someone said in chat earlier, you are very, very knowledgeable, my guy. And super well spoken, I think is exactly what they said in chat. And I agree 100%. So, dude, thank you so much for joining us today. Seriously, you are the definition of a PogChamp. And don't we appreciate you. Again, guys, if you didn't do it earlier or if you've jumped in since, this is what you need to do. You need to go and check out this man right here. There's your link in chat. Check him out, watch his streams. If you think he's dropped some knowledge bombs on you today, I guarantee you jump in that chat and he will just blow your mind, I'm sure. Give him a follow too, if you haven't already. Guys, and once again, Dao, thank you so much for joining us, my dude. Any send-off messages before we release you from the pen?
I didn't know that this would be on the test either. You didn't prep me for this one. Just thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I'd love to come back. I'm kind of sorry we missed the others that were supposed to be here. I understand real life happens, but
it absolutely does.
I'd love to come back and hang out and just chat with you all sometime.
Oh, dude.
Thanks for having me.
It goes without saying, we will trap you and put you back in here another time for sure. We've had so much fun with you, dude. You, as I said, you are a legend. Thank you so much for coming on once again. And yeah, hey, thank you for not telling us to eat our green vegetables. I thought that's where you were going with that. But
Well, I mean, yeah, like
Do
eat
that?
green vegetables, but like,
sure. But also, thanks for having me on.
right, yeah.
Yeah, no worries, DaoofZ.
Salads are okay, I guess.
Salad's okay. No, you don't make friends with salad. My guy, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much once again. DaoofZ, the Pog champ for today. Love him and leave him. And here's what I'm gonna say is this. Guys, we had a hell of a time. We had like I'm still catching up with it all. A lot happened. That was some awesome, crazy talk. I feel like we talked about Call of Duty for 2 hours. Don't time me on that, but like seriously, it was pretty amazing. When you have someone that is that steeped in gaming and just has really, it feels like he's done it all. Seriously, I am blessed. We're all blessed to have been graced by his presence, and it goes without saying, absolutely getting him back in here. Absolutely getting him back in here. I'm gonna have a chat to the guys at Activision. I'm gonna be like, hey, look, create more controversy so that we can talk about Call of Duty more. I don't think I need to tell them that. I think it's just gonna happen, guys. But honest to God, what a time! If you're watching this back on YouTube, undoubtedly you've stuck around because that was just like an amazing chat. I do want to once again specifically call out somebody who gifted just a stupid number of subs today. And that is, again, Baby Bear Plays. Holy shit, girl. Like, seriously, MVP of the stream, I think, and you weren't even, like, in the Raptor Pen. Like, damn. Once again, guys, make sure you go check her out. She's an absolute amazing streamer. And, well, as you've observed today, just a hell of an MVP. If you're watching this on YouTube, I don't know, go onto Twitch and follow her channel. But, hey, seriously, guys, I don't really have much else to preach at you about today. I did all that at the start. I've started doing that because, yeah, I don't know, that way you can't jump out and be like, oh, yikes. I mean, you still can, but, you know, I'd like to think that you didn't. Another person I just wanted to quickly shout out, he didn't get to join us today, but look, he's still an absolute legend, and that is the one and only DaoofZ. Of course, we know real life happens, and hey, you got to look after you and yours. It goes without saying, absolutely love that man in this channel, and if you haven't already, make sure you go and say hello, give him a follow, check out his streams. They're always a good time, actually. I love jumping in, lurking in his chat, even engaging in his chat. It's so much fun. But yeah, guys, look, we will find someone to raid. Who's that going to be? Who's on right now? Who is streaming right now and would like our audience, like our attention? Is there anyone? Now Dean is on. He usually wraps up right about now. Who else we got on? We've got... Oh, Beat Drop's on. We could go check out Beat Drop Bandit. Looks like he might have just got started too. We want to go say g'day to Beat Drop Bandit, guys? I definitely want to do that. Let's go raid Beat Drop Bandit. Okay. Before I do that, and before I love and let you... who will raid soon? Beat Drop or Dean? Anyway, before I do that, guys, as always, I just want to remind you of something. One is you matter. And look, I don't care what you want to say or what anyone else wants to say to you. If you're here right now, if you've been hanging out, if you're watching this back on YouTube, honest to God, you matter to me. And really... that's all I need to know, okay? You're here, you matter to me. And Yeah, doubly so for you, baby bear. Holy crap, you're amazing. And also this, guys. Look, sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Really, you get two moments in a day, in a week, in a month, in life, where you don't feel like you're adding value to anything or anyone else's life. Yeah, everybody feels that way sometimes. But look, I really do just want to make sure that you know that you do add value to other people's lives. Um, and look, I again don't know what is going on, where you're at, or who who you hang out with. But what I can tell you is this: again, if you are here right now watching this, either right now live or watching it back on YouTube, it doesn't matter. If you're here hanging out with us in chat or just lurking away, you have added value to my life. So hey, thank you so very much. Really, you are an absolute legend and a pog champ. And boy, got nothing but love for y'all. Really, I do. Guys, I will be back again. It's not a threat, it's a promise. I will be back on again Tuesday night. We will be streaming. What are we going to stream? Lately, I have been streaming a lot of Fall Guys. I've been streaming Fall Guys on a Tuesday and Skyrim on a Thursday. Do we like that? Should I stream Skyrim on Tuesday instead? I'm not too sure. But the point is, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Your boy will be back online. We'll be playing a game of some form. In the meantime, though, feel free to jump into the Discord if you want to do that. If you're watching this on YouTube, throw me a sub if you want to, or jump in the comments section. Let me know what you think, whether you agree or disagree with anything we've said today. Otherwise, guys, as always, my name is Coop. You guys call me the Velociraptor. Peace. Let's go say hello to Beat Drop.